Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 89th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I am your host, Justin Alonso, joined by Nicholas O'Brien. Today, we'll be doing our division predictions, and I'm not even going to ask you how you're doing because I don't care.
Divisions.
So we're just going to do it how we did it last year, where if you get the first place right, 5 points, second place 4, third place 3, so on and so forth. And you get, what did we say, +3 if you get it all right, or was
Something
it
like that.
+5? You get bonus points if you get it all right. We forgot
Yeah.
how much. But I obviously won this last year because I am better than Nicholas O'Brien. But kicking it off with the American League East. So we are recording this on Monday. So we are under the assumption Garrett Cole is getting Tommy John. And I think that makes a big difference in it.
Absolutely.
So with that assumption, that we also don't know about any other potential injuries to anyone in the divisions, so keep that in mind. But
If anything else happens,
yeah,
not our fault that we couldn't predict it.
yeah. So if we have the Cubs high and then Kyle Tucker does a no, that is why.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but kicking off with the AL East, who do you have in last? Let's go backwards. Who do you have in last?
Blue Jays.
Okay, I have the Rays.
I like the Rays better than the Blue Jays. I think the Jays are a very odd team because they're not a bad team, but I do think they're the worst team of this bunch.
Contract year Vladdy though.
Absolutely, but who else?
Oh
Yeah,
no, you also say what you want about Santander with like the on base. That's
yeah,
still a big ad power wise.
sure.
If they could get someone for Max Scherzer, I just like the upside of the Blue Jays more.
I think they have a upside offense, a high floor starting rotation, and then they have maybe 3 guys not even that you could trust in the bullpen. I think the bullpen definitely takes it down a notch. Scherzer, yeah, he'll probably be solid when he's pitching. Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, I think are gonna give you 30 starts.
Yeah.
That's where the floor comes from. Those guys are gonna give you starts. They're gonna give you, 6 innings, 3 runs, the quality start-esque. But just this offense is just uninspiring. I mean, yeah, it's Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero, Anthony Santander. Then it's almost 36-year-old George Springer. Dalton Varsho, who's never been the huge upside guy. Alejandro Kirk, who's solid. And then it's Andres Jimenez, who's barely hit. Ernie Clement, who's barely hit. And then Joey Loperfido, who's essentially a rookie, who hasn't hit much in his very sparing time in the majors. And then the bench is very underwhelming as well. I mean, it's Tyler Heineman is their backup catcher. Miles Straw, they fucking took on that contract. He's just a waste of a roster spot. Will Wagner
Trying to
and
get
David
Roki
Schneider.
Sasaki and
Yeah. If they got Sasaki, I might have put them over the Rays, but I don't know. This team is just very uninspiring, and it just it has like so much. This is where I go away from the numbers now. It has so much of that, like, we're gonna try, we're gonna try, we're gonna try. Like, they're really pushing, and everything just falls apart.
that's
Type
fair.
of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to make something that's not there.
To me, it's also just haggling over a 4th and 5th place team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that the Blue Jays are. I just do it just because of the upside of the
That's
team
fair.
overall. I also just think the Rays. It's gonna be so depressing playing for the Rays this year, playing in a minor league stadium.
But I think that's gonna help them. Because the Trop was atrocious. Nobody likes it. But now you have guys who are hitting at okay stadiums for 162 games, essentially. 81 less games at the Trop. I think that makes a difference. And I like this offense. I think this offense has more upside than the Blue Jays. You got Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lowe, Junior Caminario, Josh Lowe, Danny Jansen, who could run into a few home runs, Jonathan Aranda, who's a good platoon bat, Christopher Morel, who we've seen flashes of, Johnny DeLuca, who's a pretty high-rated Dodgers prospect, and then Taylor Wallace is there. But then you have Han Sung Kim whenever he's coming back. He gives you an above-average bat. And then obviously the pitching is just fucking crazy. They're getting like a whole rotation back from Tommy John. Shane McClanahan, Taj Bradley, Ryan Pepio, Zach Lytle, Shane Baz, Drew Rasmussen. This starting pitching is stacked. As long as everyone stays healthy,
That's the thing with the
there's no
Rays.
setbacks, all that.
The Rays are one of the most consistently injured teams in baseball.
Fair.
I think that's where it comes down to. Where like pretty much every guy 75% of the guys you mentioned have had serious injury concerns, or still do
Fair.
have serious injury. That's
Fair.
kind of where I sit at that. But
Yeah.
I think these next three is where the real debate is. What is
For
your
sure.
1, 2, 3? Let's just go that way.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because I think that these three. Because if I know who your 3 is, I know who your 1 is.
Yeah.
Or like
You
I
can
know who your
make
2 is, so I know who your
yeah.
1 is.
You can make an argument for any of these teams winning the division. I got Red Sox, Yankees, Orioles. I think the Garrett Cole news is just killer. I think the Red Sox were right there with the Yankees
I think it was
after
like
they got
1A and
Bregman.
1C.
Right. And after the Garrett Cole news, I think the Red Sox are above just on starting pitching alone because that was the Yankees' strength, and now the depth is really going to be tested. And this Red Sox team looks completely different from last year. This rotation looks monstrous. Garrett Crochet, Tanner Houck, Walker Buehler, Lucas Giolito, who I still think is a really good pitcher. I think he can be really good. I mean, they're already dealing with some injuries with Brian Bello, Cutter Crawford, but they have good depth as well. Quinn Priester can be a solid back end guy, give you innings. And then, what's his name? I think, where is he? Richard Fitz has been throwing like 97, 98 consistently. I wonder where he came from. He's
Looking
good.
at you,
He's
Alex
pretty good.
Verdugo.
He's pretty good depth as well. And then, that's not even talking about the offense. Jaron
Don't have
Duran,
to.
Rafi Devers, Alex Bregman, Tristan Casas.
Tennis racket.
I think Trevor Story can be an above average hitter still.
With
And
what
Masataka
elbow?
Yoshida. And then, you got the bottom three is a little up in the air, solid. But then you have guys like was it Kristen or Tristan Campbell?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Costas.
No, I think it's Kristen.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Forget his, where is he? Is he in, fuck, I can't find him. Whatever. But still, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, top prospects that can come in. Like Kristen Campbell, that's what I was looking for. Top prospects, like 3 top 100 prospects that can make their debut this year.
Yeah.
I think puts them over
Not
the
top
edge.
100 prospects, 3 top 12 prospects.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Even more so.
Yeah.
So I like this team a lot.
Yeah,
the bullpen's solid too.
My thing with that is the hard part was between Yankees and Orioles at 2. I gave
That's
the
fair.
Yankees the edge because 1, they did it last year. 2, they have Aaron Judge, and 3, the Orioles I think took a decent step back.
Absolutely. This rotation is fucking atrocious for what this offense can do.
You also got to realize they're losing 44 home runs. Anything
right,
was it 44, 45-ish?
Like yeah.
Home runs from Santander. So the rotation, obviously, they lost Corbin Burns. And also, didn't they? Who is it? Grayson Rodriguez? Isn't he dealing with an injury right now as well?
Grayson Rodriguez is already hurt. Elbow inflammation.
And that's not good whatsoever.
I think he threw like an 89-mile-an-hour fastball in his last start.
It's so tough when the Red Sox won. I hate doing it as much as it pains me, but that makes the most sense.
You got to give them credit for the turnaround they had in one offseason.
100%.
And I don't think they were all that bad last year either. What, they finished like 500?
I think they were about 500, give or take a game or two.
Exactly 500, 81 and 81. And then you add that rotation, the offense looks good, bullpen looks good. Just the Orioles are going to hit. It's just the pitching. They did not do enough.
And they moved in the yard.
Pitching.
They moved in the fences too.
Right. That's going to help, someone like Tyler O'Neill, but it's also going to help the teams visiting.
That was the whole thing with the Orioles. Like, they always had like solid hit. Obviously, their offense is at another level compared to like years past, but they always had solid hitters. but the pitching was always so bad. That's why they had to move the fences back.
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind, like I said, Santander it's really affected by the fences because obviously
Right.
him hitting a lot more of his home runs from the left hand side of the field or the plate, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
then
just
we
the
talk
Reds.
enough about the Yankees. Like we kind of know. Obviously, the Cole news sucks, but the offense. We'll see what happens there. Aaron Judge is gonna hit. Who else is gonna hit?
That's my thing is you cannot be out on a team that still has Aaron.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
that's just where I'm at. Like as long as
Yeah.
Aaron Judge stays healthy, as long as he stays healthy, this team will still be a playoff contender. It will still be contending for the division. So,
Absolutely.
especially in a
Absolutely.
weak American League. This is if they were
Definitely.
in the AL West or Central, I think they run away with the maybe not run away in the West, but I still think that they win the
Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
But because they
Definitely.
have you can make an argument that the best 3 teams are in the American League. I'd probably put the Astros above the Orioles, but
Yeah.
there's a
Probably.
wrong argument to be made that the best 3 teams are in the American League.
That's fair.
And even like a team like the Blue Jays and Rays, like they would not be 4th and 5th place teams in any other division of baseball.
Absolutely not. I think they are two really good teams, just in
The best division in
wrong
baseball.
place, wrong time.
Yeah. So yeah, I got Red Sox, Yankees, Orioles. I did the same. Then Blue Jays, Rays, and then you have the same except you swapped Rays and.
Yeah. Correct.
So, did you have
Correct.
anything else on the American League East?
Probably gonna be a bloodbath, but that's where the fun
Probably.
comes.
Oh no, no,
It
no.
will.
It will
But yeah,
100% be a bloodbath. Any 3 of those teams has a path to win the division.
definitely.
It just depends what, with the most likely being the Red Sox, least likely being the Orioles out of the 3, and
Yeah.
then Yankees kind of in that middle.
Yeah.
If
Purgatory.
you get offensive productions, the if man's coming out from Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger. Dominguez takes that step. Anthony Volpe is a league average hitter. I think they win the division. But
It can offset the loss of the pitching, but they just
that's
went
also a
so
lot
hard in
of
pitching.
ifs. That's
Right.
also I just listed off what 4 or 5 guys.
Right.
So
You can't count on it.
all right, and then for the AL Central, we keep it the same way. Tough question. You have him last.
This was a White Sox. You want to know what I have for my notes here?
I didn't even have notes.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing.
Like, dude,
Uh,
and this isn't saying this part's pathetic. But we were talking about because we're recording these back to back, obviously. But we talked about in Queens, and you know how I said like Benintendi broke his hamate bone. He broke his hand again.
I did not hear about that until I was searching like
I didn't
hamate bone
either.
injuries. Like no one's talking about it. It's kind of funny.
That kind of just goes to
Like
show where he's at.
yeah, I mean, in their lineup, their highest projected WRC plus is Andrew Vaughn at 111.
Not even
Mike
Lubob.
Talkman is second, 110. Lubob is 105, which is interesting. But he's so tough because I don't even know what to expect from him anymore. I mean, this is just a team like begging for some young guys to put it together. Lubob included. I mean, Colson Montgomery is a top prospect. I guess he's going to be the shortstop. I don't even know. They have him projected to be the shortstop. Might as well. He was drafted almost 4 years ago, so. Uh, but even he's projecting 80 weighted runs created plus. And then just this pitching staff is fucking abysmal.
Hey, they got the Thorpmeister.
He's not even projected to make the roster. I don't even know why. Oh, he's hurt.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Oh, he had a bone spur removed in September. That's unfortunate. But yeah,
Not
whatever.
good.
Moving on.
These 4 were hard for me.
This was probably let me just in total. This is the 3rd year we're doing this now. This is probably the toughest year I had like making these predictions. And the central teams were a huge part of that, the NL
Yeah.
included.
Who'd you have for
But
fourth?
I had the Royals. I have the Royals
Okay.
fourth.
I have the Twins.
Okay, interesting.
I went Royals 3.
Okay. Do you want to just go what we go
Yeah.
up, and then we'll talk about like all of them?
So I went Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins, White Sox.
Okay, I did Twins, Tigers, Guardians, Royals, White Sox. Where do you want to start?
I don't
I think the
know.
biggest discrepancy is the Twins.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Twins.
I don't know, dude. Like they're just you can't bank on injuries, but you can with the Twins.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like that's the thing. Like Carlos Correa could be massive for them. If you get 100 games from
Yeah,
him, you're over the moon.
right.
Royce
But how much is
Lewis
he gonna play?
could be massive for them. If you get 50 games, you're happy with that. Byron
Yeah,
Buxton could be awesome if you get more than 5 games from him.
yeah,
I feel like that's just every player on the Twins. If we could get X amount of games from them, we are so happy. If you get if you get 100 games from your three best players, you're happy. That just goes
yeah,
to show how bad
yeah.
the injury.
Definitely. I think like I hate trying to project injuries, so it's tough. So I kind of went into it like, you know, at a nice floor.
Turned
Like,
injuries off.
yeah, essentially. But like if this team's healthy, which obviously is a huge if, they should run away with this division.
Hmm,
They
it should.
besides the Correas, the Bucks, and the Royce Lewis, Matt Wallner is probably going to step up. Ryan Jeffers is a good catcher. Willie Castro is an excellent like utility piece. Ty France is projected like really well, and he's always been a solid hitter.
As of
So
late, though,
right, but he's projected a 112 WRC plus. Is he having a good spring as well? What's this? 22 plate appearances. He's hitting 550, a 591 on base, a 1,000 slugging percentage.
one walk, I'm
So
not
maybe there's
moved.
something there. Yeah, maybe there's something there. And then I think the pitching is going to carry them. That's my biggest thing. They probably have the second best bullpen, if not the best bullpen in this division. They probably have the best overall rotation. Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Bailey Obers, Simon Woods Richardson, solid. Chris Paddock, solid. They have some guys in the minors waiting to get their chance. What's his face? David Festa. I think he had a solid rookie year. He
I
was,
think so too.
yeah, a 4.9 in 64 innings. That's solid, for his first cup of coffee. So they have guys who are kind of ready to make an impact. They just got to put it together.
Yeah, you can't project injuries, but I feel like this is one of the few teams you can. Like that's all it
Yeah,
is at the end of the line. And for me, I've
that's
learned
fair.
do not discount the Guardians.
I know.
I've just learned
But
that. I've done it so many times in the past, and I've gotten proved wrong every single time. But I think that they're just a lock to be either first or second in this division, just because they
that's
always do it.
fair.
It doesn't matter. They always do it. They just got rid of. I don't want to say Jimenez wasn't a detriment, but Miles Straw was a detriment to this team. They
Yeah,
offloaded his salary. Obviously, Jimenez was elite, elite of the elite defensively. Did he win a platinum glove this year or last year?
I think it's like 2 years ago,
Okay,
or
whatever. But
maybe it was
platinum glove
last year.
winner, absurd defender.
Yeah, I looking at this team, I'm just so
I say
like,
that every year. I
I
do that
know,
every year.
uninspired.
Every
Like,
year I do that same thing with them, and every
and
year they prove me wrong.
I know,
They have
like
the
Tanner
second most
Bybee,
wins in the
solid.
American League.
I know, I don't get it, and like they're basically bringing back the same team, so I'm definitely gonna get like shit on, and this is probably gonna be a bad take. But, like, I don't know, just like Steven Kwan, solid. Jose Ramirez, elite. Kyle Manzardo, still basically a rookie. What are you gonna get from him? Carlos Santana, solid floor. Lane Thomas was awful when they first got him. Will Brennan, platoon bat. Bo Naylor, he's still basically a rookie. Like, what are you gonna get from him? And then second base and shortstop are both below average offensive players. It's just the only thing they got going for them in my mind is the bullpen. I don't I'm just so uninspired by this team. But to your point, they do it every single
Every
year.
year
So
they're uninspiring.
I'm expecting to be proven wrong, but I
Yeah,
just given the upside of the other teams, I guess is what I'm banking on. Not that the Guardians are gonna be bad, I just think the Twins and Tigers are gonna be better.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Then you had Tiger second, correct?
I had Tigers second.
I
I
think
was
they're
this
close.
close
They're
to putting
close.
them the what's it called? To putting them winning the division.
They made a move. They
They did a
added a
lot,
lot of guys.
and they
They
lost 1 player,
yeah,
which is a reliever, so
who cares?
whatever.
And
Yeah,
they also added. Didn't they also have the best record in baseball over like the last months of the season?
something like that,
Something
yeah.
crazy, like one of the best
They
records
had
in baseball.
86 wins last year.
And they started off
86.
horrific, and they won a playoff series as well against the Astros. So
Yeah.
they also almost beat the Guardians too. Didn't that go
Mhm.
5?
I
So
think, yeah, 4 or 5.
so they're very good. They're a young team. They also got back Jack Flaherty. Everyone's talking
Right.
about how like they didn't have him for the
No, I
second
know.
half,
Right,
and they went on that run. Now they have him. You're obviously adding Gleyber Torres for second base, bringing back the Chafe Dog. Um,
right. Fucking minor league deal.
so
I don't understand how.
but
But this offense looks good. Torres, Gary Carpenter, Riley Green. You gotta see something from Spencer Torkelson. That's the biggest thing. But
he's the
Spencer
catalyst.
Torkelson
He's the
can,
X factor.
yeah, I definitely. If he could be enough, if he could hit 30 home runs again, this puts the offense above. But then, the one detriment is, to your point, they have a lot of young guys. The oldest player projected to be
Gleyber
in their
Torres.
lineup, Jake Rogers.
Okay.
Gleyber Torres is second. Jake Rogers is going to be 30, their
Okay.
catcher. But Colt Keith, Trey Sweeney, Winsell Perez, Jace Jung, like, and you know, they got other guys in the minors who I'm sure are waiting to be brought up too, more so on the pitching side.
Yeah.
But
Job.
you know, Jemiah Jones is having a really good spring, and he's had like the 2 hardest hit balls of his career in this spring. So he could be something.
How much did I say over the season? Jemiah Jones was overhated because they forced him into a role that he just should not have been in.
Right. If he's a utility guy for the Tigers, that might work. And then this rotation is could be deadly. Tariq Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Reese Olson's a solid pitcher. Casey Myers could take another step. Kenta Maeda is a solid veteran. And then you got Jackson Jobe, who should probably be making the opening day roster. This guy is disgusting. This rotate Skubal, Flaherty, and Jackson Jobe can be a disgusting three-headed monster. And then this bullpen's solid. They have some solid pieces. That's probably
Didn't they have
their
one of the best
weakest part.
bullpens in baseball last year?
Yeah, they just it just seems so
Patchwork.
like yeah, there's so just like a lot of names, but it worked last year, and this is the same bullpen. Like to your point, they were running out the bullpen like every day in the playoffs in like the last month, and it worked. These are solid guys.
What did the manager say
So
again? About like it was like Scooble and then chaos or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Then they also have a lot of hurt guys who can probably come back. Alex Cobb is another veteran option. Ty Madden was a first round pick 4 years ago. Parker Meadows is hurt right now. Matt Viewling's a solid utility player. He's hurt right now. But I had this as the highest upside team in the American League Central.
That's fair. And then for the Royals, I had them third. I still like that pitching. I think really like the pitching. The They traded from that pitching to get Jonathan India, and you know how high I was on Jonathan India. You missed it was Pascantino that missed a shit ton of time, right?
Yeah, he was
You
hurt.
you're missing him for a good amount of time, so I really like the upside. The only thing that I could say that may be a big detriment to them is that they get a decline from Salvi. That I think is
Yeah,
kind of like the big X factor. Bobby Witt's obviously going to be an MVP candidate, but if Salvador Perez doesn't take a big step back, I think they could finish second in this division.
absolutely. I think very similar to the American League East. I think all 4 of these teams, if they win the division, I'll be like, okay,
Yeah,
that probably makes sense. The thing for me is I think their rotation is very floor. It's a super high floor. But besides Cole Reagans, who can, put on like an ace type performance, I don't think you're getting that from Seth Lugo. I don't think
He
you're
was
getting that from
awesome
Michael
last year.
Wacha.
Seth
He
Lugo
was. He
was
was
awesome
great.
last
I know he finished what, third in Cy Young,
Something crazy.
something like that.
He had a
But
phenomenal year.
yeah, he had a 3 ERA. I don't think that's Seth Lugo. Michael Wacha solid. Michael Lorenzen solid. Chris Bubek could be solid. I think he's coming back from injury. And then again, same thing with the bullpen. Solid floor, but like these names are not jumping out. Carlos Estevez solid. Ursig solid. Hunter Harvey solid. But you see the pattern here, like solid, solid, solid. And then I think this offense is pretty rough, personally. Very top heavy. Jonathan India, Bobby Witt, Vinny, Salvador Perez. And then everyone else. Like Hunter Renfroe is washed. And then he got a ton of platoon bats. Like, I don't know. This offense, it doesn't get me going. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not very
That's fair.
high on the offense.
My thing though is in this division, solid could win it.
Solid is a lot.
Solid could
That's
win
fair.
it. That's the thing.
That's fair. I can absolutely see it, but
Yeah.
I don't.
My recap is AL Central: Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins, White Sox, and you had
Twins, Tigers, Guardians, Royals, White Sox.
gotcha. And then onto the AL West: Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Athletics, Angels.
I have Rangers winning the division. I got Rangers,
I was so
Mariners,
close.
Astros, A's,
I can't
Angels.
put Astros.
I This Mariners team should be good. They should be. I was having such a tough time with the. I guess we're gonna start with the Mariners. I need to start with the Mariners. This team can be really good. This offense has potential. Victor Robles, I don't think is going to be a 140 guy for them, but I think he's going to be solid. Julio Rodriguez, amazing. Cal Raleigh, one of the best catchers. Randy, a full year, should be solid. I really like Luke Raley. Mitch Haniger's washed, but JP Crawford, if they get 2023 JP Crawford instead of 2024 JP Crawford, that obviously changes things. Jorge Polanco could be solid. That was a very big question mark when they kind of re-signed him because he had like the worst year of his career there. And then, then Ryan Bliss, I don't know what to expect from him, but and then obviously the pitching is the pitching. It's fucking insane. Uh, from the rotation to the bullpen, the biggest thing which they're being tested early on is the depth of that starting pitching because George Kirby's already out with shoulder inflammation. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. Emerson Hancock is going to be their 5th starter, and he had a rough go of it in his first taste of the major leagues last year. 4.75 ERA in 60 innings. I think his FIP was over 5, if I'm not wrong. His FIP was 5.69. So I like the potential of this team. It's just the offense that needs to at least be, I don't know, like above average, I guess. Like
It's
the funny
asking
thing
so
is,
much at that ballpark.
as an offense, they had a 104 WRC plus, which is about middle of the pack. I think that was 12th in baseball. It's just the ballpark is brutal. Absolutely, that's the biggest bugaboo.
For me,
The
with the
ballpark's
pitching too,
absolutely brutal.
is that pitching has to stay healthy.
Yes,
You need
that's
every
the
single
issue.
one of those guys to stay healthy. You're already down Kirby. Say
Right.
that Luis Castillo goes.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at that team and you're like,
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, after Hancock, it's like I'll be real. I don't know a lot of these names, but
you're a resident Mariners fan.
yeah, Blas Casto, Logan Evans, Casey Lawrence. Like I don't. These are all like non-roster invites. These aren't guys. They don't have guys in the wing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think me putting Mariners second is more about the Astros than the Mariners. But I do like the Mariners.
My thing with the Astros is you lose Bregman, you lose Tucker. But I also just love a lot of the moves they made. Like I think Isaac Paredes will rake at that ballpark. He may hit 40 home runs. There is a world where he will hit 40 home runs. because of that ballpark.
Yeah.
You have Christian Walker. I know he had the oblique injury.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know
not
how serious that
sure.
is. I think he's a phenomenal fit there too. I was so mad when they signed him. Cam Smith, I'm pretty sure has been raking in spring training. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Hayden Wieneski, everyone knows my love for Hayden Wieneski. So yeah, you lost Tucker and Bregman, but at the same time, like you still have Jordan, you still have Altuve, you still have a bunch of other guys, and the rotation I think is where it's going to be the sketch
Dicey.
factor. That's just
Oh
definitely
yeah.
the sketch factor, especially the health in that rotation. So I could see. I just to me the Astros are like the Guardians of they're winning the division until they don't. I thought they
That's
were
fair.
DOA last year. I thought they were cooked, done, finite, dead. But those fucking fuckers ended up winning the division.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. I liked a lot of the moves they made too, but it's just after Yainer Diaz on that in that offense, it's Jeremy Pena, who's like a league average guy, Chas McCormick, league average. What the hell are you gonna get from Brendan Rodgers? He's apparently your starting second baseman. He was cut by the Rockies, and
Do
then Jake
not look at
Myers,
his
who's
home road splits. Do
right.
not look at his home road split.
And Jake Myers is a solid center fielder, and then the bench is uninspiring as well. Victor Caratini is your backup catcher, solid. John Singleton, platoon. Mauricio Dubon, utility guy, and then Ben Gamel.
Go.
So the offense is uninspiring. I think losing Tucker is huge. Losing Bregman is not as bad as losing Tucker, but still a big loss. Then you're right that the rotation is Framber, he's good. He's not a big game pitcher. Hunter Brown had an excellent second half. If he needs to carry that into this season, then it's Ronel Blanco who broke out last year. Spencer Arrighetti, what are you gonna get from him? Like you said, Hayden Wieneski. So it's then they have they have another whole rotation hurt right now. So I think Christian Javier is missing this season, I believe.
I believe so too.
Lance McCullers is just never healthy. I don't know where Luis Garcia got Tommy John in May, so maybe he's like a mid return guy. And then JP France also had a shoulder surgery in July, so I don't know if he's going to be out this whole year either. So I don't know. I'm very underwhelmed looking at this team.
Just they do it every year. There's been
Yeah, no,
I-
you're right.
that's just what it
They had a
is.
good year of Tucker playing like 80 games, I think.
Yeah.
So
And
I
to a
guess
lesser extent to what Judge does, I can never count a team out if they have your dog. To a
fair.
lesser extent of that. So I also just
Yeah,
think I really like a lot of the moves they did in the offseason. Should have got more pitching, but
yeah, definitely, definitely.
and
But
then for the Rangers, I was debating it. It's just for me, it's the health. Like
absolutely,
this team, fuck what I said about the Twins. This team is the most reliant team based on health.
yeah,
They could be the number one seed in the American League if everyone is healthy. They could
yeah,
also finish fourth in this division.
right. Yeah, that's fair. I really like their offense. Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford, Jock Peterson's a
I
huge
think
get for
no one's
them.
talking about that. No
That's
one
what I'm.
is. People need to be talking more
Exactly.
about that.
Adolis Garcia, you need a bounce back from him. Josh Jung, you need a healthy year from him. Evan Carter, same thing. Jake Berger is another solid get for them. He's like 30 home runs right there. And then Jonah Heim's a solid catcher, but I think
Did you
the
say
biggest
Wyatt?
thing, yes,
Okay.
obviously the biggest thing is health in the starting rotation.
I would also
They
say that
have,
lineup too, between Adolis and Seager, because those are two guys
yeah,
that have had a lot of injuries
that's fair.
past.
That's fair. But I think they're more prepared for injuries in the rotation than position players because
Hmm.
the rotation looks good. Nathan Eovaldi, John Gray, Tyler Mahle, Cody Bradford, and Jacob DeGrom. If you get 110 innings from Jacob DeGrom, I think you had a very successful season. But if one of those guys gets hurt, Kumar Rocker, Jack Leiter, those guys are ready and waiting for an opportunity. This bullpen has the potential to be really good too. Chris Martin's solid. Robert Garcia is really good. I like Colby Milner a lot. Dane Dunning is a solid long relief guy. So I feel like they're the most complete team, barring injury, of course.
That's fair, yeah. It's just the barring injury is. Oh, we get it. They're agreeing with me.
No, I
Just
think they're
the
disagreeing.
the barring injury is just so big for this team that I can't have them win.
Yeah,
Just because
that's fair.
for a fact one or two guys, big guys, are going down. Just with
Yeah,
the track record. So,
that's fair.
and I
That's
like
fair.
the Rangers. I like a lot of their guys, so I hope it doesn't happen. But it's almost sad reality at this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then who'd you have in last?
I had Angels.
I did too.
Yeah,
I
I
like
really
the
like this athletic team.
I like the moves they made. You obviously have Lawrence Butler and Brent Rooker that broke out last year. And
Yeah,
the Angels make the weirdest moves of all time that make no sense, that never
they're
relate to
trying.
anything. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're picking names out of a hat. They're like, okay, these are all the tier 3 and tier 4 free agents. Let's pick names out of the hat.
Yeah,
And let's assign them to the contract that the people in the tier above would be getting. You have
yeah.
Anthony Rendon, who, what the is he doing?
He's not on the team,
He's
essentially. This could be a solid team. I mean, Taylor Ward, Luis Rengifo. What are you gonna get from Trout? Soler's gonna hit you 25 bombs. What the hell are you gonna get from Yohan Moncada? What are you gonna get from Tim Anderson?
what
I
are
don't know
you?
when
What are you?
Zach
What are
Neto's
you? What are
coming
you? What
back.
are you? What are you? What are
Yes,
you?
but this rotation is solid too. Yusei Kikuchi kind of found something in Houston. Jose Soriano has solid stuff. Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks, and Reed Detmers are all solid back end guys. But then, the back end of the bullpen is solid as well. Ben Joyce and Kenley Jansen. If they have a lead, they probably are winning that game.
Yeah.
But
So for my
yeah.
final, I have Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Athletics.
And I got Rangers, Mariners, Astros, A's, Angels.
At least we agreed on two things. Then
Yes.
going on to the National League East, the host of the
Woo!
National.
So this is also a tough one.
Oh my god,
Uh, I think you
the
can
top
make
three they're so
yes.
interchangeable. I feel.
Th- These top three teams are projected to be like all top five teams in the National League, which is so frustrating.
I
But
would say they're top four. I'd say they're 2, 3, 4. Honestly,
that's fair. That's fair. But I do have the Braves coming back and winning the division.
same.
And then after that, I got the Mets, then Phillies, Nationals, then Marlins. We don't even need to talk about the Marlins. The
Fuck
Marlins
you.
are pathetic. Do you have the same exact thing?
Same exact thing.
Excellent. The Marlins are the Marlins. It's pathetic. It's a disgrace. I have nothing to say about them. They're going to trade Sandy by the deadline, and
Yankee.
hopefully, I wish you a good rebuild. I guess, or maybe I don't.
You don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Uh, well, let's quickly touch on the Nationals. I think they're going to be really, really good, really soon. Maybe not this year, but maybe the year after. A lot of their pieces are coming together, which worries me, obviously, as a Mets fan. Because you got Dylan Cruz, you got James Wood, CJ Abrams has kind of cemented himself as a solid shortstop. Traded for Nathaniel Lowe, who's a solid first baseman. Josh Bell had a good year with them 2 years ago. Luis Garcia Jr. is a good second baseman, and then you kind of got like everything else. But this rotation can be sneaky, sneaky good. Mackenzie Gore, Jake Irving, Mitchell Parker, Trevor Williams, Michael Soroka. He's like the X factor for that rotation. But they're not there yet. But this team could be pretty good pretty soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything else
That's
on
kind of
them.
where I'm at. Just the youth. And another thing too is they have Patrick Corbin's $25-26 million off the books now.
Finally.
So
Yeah.
that's now off the books, so they could bring in another guy like that. I wouldn't
Right.
be surprised to see if at the deadline they don't buy, but they buy for the future.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where they kind of get like young
Yeah.
up and coming guys. So I think
Yeah.
like there's a realistic chance like next year, year after that, like they could be a very legit team.
Absolutely. Definitely
But
agree.
I think this
And
year's a little too early.
yeah.
But I think you could
I'd
definitely.
be a
I was gonna say, I
go
think you
finish
could
first.
definitely see some starts of annoyances,
Yeah,
some
for
starts of
sure.
peskiness.
Yeah, this team might finish like 70 with 78 wins, or maybe like 80 wins, like just below that kind of 500 threshold. Uh, I'd be kind of surprised if they're fighting for a wild card spot, but I'd also be like, all right, everything kind of clicked.
In this
Everything,
division too.
yeah. Um, but I guess we'll move on to the Phillies after that. The Phillies are a really good team. Don't get it twisted by them being placed third. The Phillies are an excellent, excellent team, but it's the same team. The same team we've been seeing for the past, what now? This is third year, I guess, going back to 2022. It's like the third year, the same team. The biggest difference is Max Kepler in left field and Jesus Luzardo as your fifth starter, which good upgrades. Maybe not so much Kepler. Kepler's okay. Jesus Luzardo is a good pitcher, but
As a fifth starter, that's awesome.
yeah, because he also is, he has his ebbs and flows, and then if he's healthy, yada yada. So this rotation is going to be one of the best. I mean, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Christ, I fucking hate it. You know, uh, this offense is going to hit Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos. Again, Max Kepler solid. JT Realmuto is still a good catcher. You need to see more from Bryson Stott. I think that's one of their biggest things. And then Brandon Marsh is a solid platoon guy, but their bullpen was their bitter end in the playoffs, and they really didn't do much to kind of back it up. Maybe they don't need to because, well, I forgot they got Jordan Romano, but everyone else is kind of coming back. It's still a good bullpen. I mean, Matt Strom, Orion Kerkering's really good. Jose Alvarado's annoying. Jose Ruiz is solid. And then Tanner Banks, Joe Ross, and then Taiwan Walker is there. I think that's kind of holding them back a bit, the Taiwan Walker contract. This team's really good. We've seen it. I think that's the issue. If that even makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't know if you had anything else on the
That
Phillies.
I also just think that they got exposed by the Mets
Mhm.
with like the big flaw in their lineup, and I think a lot of teams have that blueprint now. With the risk of
Right.
sound getting clipped, because I feel like that's something that always gets clipped. But they now have the teams now have the blueprint to attacking this Phillies line. If
Yeah.
they don't make a change to this lineup, it's going to be tough for them to be as good as they were in the past. Because also, the thing too is everyone's getting a year older.
Right.
So,
Right.
like,
Absolutely.
is Trey
So
Turner
I
still
don't
going to
know.
be as fast as he is? Is he still going to be as good
Yeah,
defensively? Is he still going to be able?
going to be 32.
A lot of his like value is from how fast he is,
Right.
whether that be on the bases, whether it be just hitting, because a lot of his game is based around how fucking fast he is. So
Right. Yeah, we'll see. And Bryce Harper I think is always going to hit.
yeah,
But I think that's like the
he
one
may
guy you kind of
move
be like,
back to the
okay.
outfield. That was something
Yeah, I
that we
heard
saw
that.
too. But
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just tired of the same Phillies team, I guess. And again, to your point, you kind of know how to attack them and you know what you're getting. So you have more time to kind of
and on the flip side,
plan.
that is a thing that happens too with fatigue, where you just get so fatigued of a team, it's like, but then they come back out and they're
Right.
like, yeah, this is why they're so good.
Right, exactly.
So
So, and then, we won't talk too much about the Mets because we're always talking about the Mets here. But I think the reason I have them over the Phillies is I feel like if both teams are getting injured, I feel like the Mets are built a little better to withstand that. I think if a position player on the Phillies gets hurt, I think they're going to have a harder time filling that spot than the Mets. The one spot they have over, I think, is the rotation. Because if one of these guys goes down, they have Andrew Painter waiting in the wings. You know, the Mets
didn't you get Tommy John last year
may,
though?
last year, yes. I don't know. I think he's going to be ready for this year. For the Mets, though, it's your Tyler McGills. It's, maybe Brandon Sproat, Blade Tidwell. no one besides Sproat, no one's super high ranked, but still, I think they have quality depth that if these teams deal with injuries, I think the Mets are built better to withstand that. That's kind of my reasoning of having them over the Phillies.
No, it's tough because to me, it really just the Mets are already hurt going into the
Yeah,
year, so that may be the reason I may put I'm sticking with Mets at 2, but the reasoning if I did put Phillies 2 would just because the Mets are already going into the year hurt.
right.
So
Yeah.
that and
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and obviously the starting rotation is nothing to ooh and ah over, which I get. I completely understand it's underwhelming, but we'll see. And then obviously the Braves are just half their roster was hurt last year, and they still won 89 games. Like the Mets had the scratch and claw, and the Braves kind of just walked to 89 wins, even with a battered team.
yeah,
Yeah, Jurickson Profar was a good signing. But then you got it's just guys returning from that really 2023 team that are just gonna mash. Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna, Michael Harris, Ozzy Albies. Like these guys are studs and they're gonna hit, and it's really annoying. I think where you could poke the holes is the rotation. I think is Chris Sale gonna be a Cy Young candidate again? Is he gonna be healthy enough to be a Cy Young candidate again? Ronaldo Lopez, second year of being a what's it called? A starter turned from a reliever. His peripherals didn't love him last year. I think Spencer Schwellenbach is going to be a guy. Unfortunately, they seem to find something with him. Grant Holmes. I'm not too familiar with your game. I don't know. And Ian Anderson has been pretty mid since like 2021. Then obviously you got Spencer Strider coming back, but how's he
when
going to be? Right. And when? Ronald Acuna's coming back. When?
second
And
ACL injury.
he has now had surgery on both ACLs. I don't know how much he's going to steal anymore. That's a huge part of his game. Like, I don't know how much that's going to affect his speed, if at all. And they already lost Sean Murphy, who cracked a rib. So I think Drake Baldwin is supposed to take up that spot, and he's supposed to be good. So they got that going for them. And then the bullpen's solid. I don't think no, I don't think they got like I did not realize they had the third best ERA for a bullpen last year. That's kind of crazy. But they also lost a few guys. They don't have AJ Minter. Tyler Masek's gone.
He
I
did
think
nothing
Aaron
for them though last year.
did he?
He was
Oh,
horrible.
was he hurt? Was he
He was
hurt
either
all last
hurt
year?
the entire year or he was horrible.
I forget. You know what? That's fair. I don't even remember him. But obviously, the biggest loss is Max Fried,
Yeah,
and uh, so we'll see how the rotation shapes up after that. But I don't know. The rotation is just very unsure of. I guess. I
yeah,
guess again, if you're gonna poke holes, that's kind of where it is. That and the bench. The bench is pretty weak, I think.
yeah. Also gonna come down to a guy like Matt Olson bouncing back. Because he
Right.
was like not good, right?
I think
For his
he's,
standards, for his
for his
standards.
standards, yeah. I mean, he had a 117 WRC plus.
Oh, he was a lot better than I thought. Never mind.
Yeah, but that's coming off a 161
Yeah,
WRC plus season.
it's probably why I thought it was so much worse.
That's his lowest since 2020, and then before that, that's his lowest since 2018.
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
it's just a lot of guys bouncing back. That's what you're kind of banking on.
just they're
So,
so really talented.
yeah.
And I don't know if I told you this. I think I did, but I worked with someone that was literally teammates with Schwellenbach.
Did you really?
Yeah, over the summer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I was hanging out with him when he
But
made his debut, and he was like, "Oh my god, I know that guy. I know that
you know
guy."
that guy.
But
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
But yeah, anything else on the NL East? I think it's just gonna be a bloodbath. Those top three.
Now into probably the hardest division.
Yeah, more than likely. It was this or the AL Central. It's always the fucking Central teams.
I think this one's harder.
So I got Cubs, Reds, Brewers, Cardinals, Pirates.
Interesting.
Okay,
I went
hit me
Cubs,
with it.
Brewers, Reds, Pirates, Cardinals.
Really? You think the Cardinals are going to
I
be
think
worse
they're
than?
so bad. I think they're so bad, dude.
I don't know. Like they don't. The
So
rotation.
bad.
The rotation is rough, but this offense could hit. Could. Could.
Nolan
You know.
Arenado is on the vast decline. I don't think you're getting
Absolutely.
anything from him. Paul
Absolutely.
Goldschmidt was awesome for them in the second half of the year. You're not getting him anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, if Jordan Walker actually becomes what we know he can, okay, then my outlook
Right.
changes. Makes him win if he hits. My outlook definitely does change there. You also I know Tommy Edman wasn't the best hitter with them, but you also lost Tommy Edman because in the trade to the Dodgers. So rotation rough. They are the
Yes.
only team in Major League Baseball to not sign anyone to a major league deal.
Yeah. That's pretty pathetic.
Their entire plan all offseason was to trade away Nolan Arenado. They didn't do that. They did nothing this offseason. How do you think that clubhouse is going to be, especially with a guy like Arenado? Knowing
Yeah.
that no one wants him there, and he's going to be there, and he's not known as being the calmest guy on the planet. I'm so down on this Cards team, dude.
Yeah.
And this
I
is someone
think.
who loves the Cardinals and likes a lot of their players. I'm so down.
I think the vibes are just rancid in St. Louis. Like looking on paper, I think they should be a probably a 500 to below 500 team. I think Mason Wynn is obviously a really good player. Lars Nootbaar is a good hitter. Wilson Contreras is a good hitter. Arenado, you get what you get. Brendan Donovan's really good. I really like Ivan Herrera, a catcher. Alec Burleson is a solid platoon bat. You need something from Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman, I think, can take this
Boring.
offense to the next step. And then, the rotation, Sonny Gray, love Sonny Gray. Eric Fetty, solid. Miles Michaelis, maybe a little less than solid. Andre Palante could be interesting. I know he has really good stuff. I think they're transitioning him to a starter, or he's been like one of those guys. He was a starter, they made him a reliever. Yeah, he's one of those like back and forth guys. He made 20 starts last year, 29 appearances. He could be solid. And then the back end of the bullpen's really good too. I mean, Jojo Romero, Ryan Fernandez, Ryan Helsley, really good back end. So if they have a lead, they're probably winning with Ryan Helsley. I am so disappointed by the Pirates, I think is what is making me put the Cardinals over them, because they really did not do anything. They are having a almost breakout, one of the best starting rotations in baseball with Paul Skeens and Jared Jones. Mitch Keller's also really good, but then they signed Andrew Heaney, who's okay.
Respect the Heen dog.
And then Bailey Falter is their fifth starter, who's okay. Like, their biggest move was what? Trading for Spencer Howitz, who now just got wrist surgery, so I don't know how long he's going to be out. They didn't supplement the starting rotation. This is the Mariners of, not to the full extent, but this is the Mariners of the National League. The starting rotation can be really solid, especially with Skeens and Jones, but their lineup has Tommy Pham at leadoff. And I love Kutch, but almost 39-year-old Andrew McCutchen batting cleanup. DJ Stewart is projected to make the roster at first base and bat sixth. Like, this offense does nothing for me. It's such a disappointment because I think their window is really opening with that rotation, and they're not doing anything about it.
Just like I think the upside of the pitching for me is better than the upside of the Cardinals offense.
That's fair.
And I also I'm
I
not
get
bought
that.
into the Cardinals rotation.
I like a few other guys. I like them better than Andrew Heaney and Bailey Falter.
Fair, but just
But
that upside,
yeah,
like you
you can
legitimately could
flip
have.
them.
There is a world where you have 3 Cy Young contenders in that Pirates rotation. That
That's
is
fair.
how high I am on those pitchers.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of that where like that 3-headed monster, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Then who'd you have third? I forget.
Reds.
Reds. All right, I had Brewers. So where do you want to start?
My thing with the Brewers is they are the Cardinals,
The Cardinals.
Guardians of the National League. Every year, you look at their team, it's trash. Every year, there's no reason for them to be good. They are good every single.
Yeah.
That's just so much. It's more of a vote of confidence in their player development, their pitching development, and granted, you just did lose Willie Adames. That was a big reason that I was debating
30
putting
home
them third.
runs.
What'd you say?
It's like 30 home runs you're losing.
Well, they're getting that back with um,
Okay.
but it's very. I put him second just because it's the same thing. We're like every year they're like, oh, they lost Corbin Burns. Oh, they lost
Yeah,
Willie Adames. Oh, they lost X player. Oh, they lost Y. So they also
I get
lost
it.
Christian Yelich down the stretch.
Yeah.
So
Not even down the stretch. He was like hurt like on and off the entire year.
yeah, and when he was healthy, he was playing really well,
He
right?
was he was really good. I had him on my
So
fantasy team.
so if he can just remain healthy,
Yeah.
I like this Brewers team more. Then again, remain healthy is a big ask with Christian Yelich, unfortunately, at this
Yeah.
point in his career. But
Yeah. I think losing Willie Adames is huge. I think that's gonna hurt a ton.
yeah,
They do not have a projected 30 home run bat. The closest is Jackson Churio. No, I lied. The closest is Reese Hoskins with 26.
he's been having a good spring, I think, right?
Hoskins, I think
I
so.
know I've seen a couple home runs on Twitter. I don't know if that
Yeah,
relates to him having a good swing,
Hoskins
but
is hitting 385, slugging 113
yeah.
or 1300. But this bottom of the order is Gary, not for the good reasons. I mean,
How you said Gary?
Bryce Terang's just fucking annoying. Joey Ortiz is solid. Sal Frelick, not really that much offensively. Oliver Dunn, not that much offensively. The offense is middling. The rotation is middling. You got Freddie Peralta and Tobias Myers, who are really good. Nestor Cortez, Aaron Savali, and Jose Quintana, who are all floor guys. And then the bullpen's going to be the bullpen because they always figure it out. But I don't know. I'm just very uninspired by this team, and I like the upside of the Reds more than the floor of the Brewers.
Don't the Brewers have an
Yes.
absolutely disgusting guy that's gonna be their closer now? Like absurdly disgusting.
You mean the other McGill?
Yeah,
Yes. He is a very good relief
he
pitcher.
is a disgust. Some of the numbers and some of the stuff I saw, I don't remember it. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember seeing like tweets about it when they traded away Devin Williams. Like they are disgusting.
Yeah.
So that, and then the Reds.
I like the Reds. I like, and then you got the Terry Francona effect too. You got Tito coming in. That can do wonders for a very young team.
Yeah,
You know, Matt McClain's going to be back. Ellie De La Cruz just had like his best year yet. Gavin Lux could be solid in Cincinnati. I still really
I
like
love Gavin Lux.
Tyler Stevenson as a catcher. Yeah, I think Gavin Lux at
He had a
what was it
140
Great American,
WRC
right?
plus second half of the year because it was a thing of once he started getting further and further away from the ACL injury, he started to regain, started to be a lot more comfortable in his leg, started just to regain a lot of that power.
Yeah, they have him platooning, which I feel like won't last very long.
I
I
think
think
he's
he's
gonna
going to
run
be an everyday
away.
player.
He's gonna run away with it.
Yeah, and the bottom half of the lineup is a little sketchy, but then the rotation has some serious upside with Hunter Green, Brady Singer. I know is your boy. Nick Lodolo's solid. I love me some Nick Martinez. Andrew Abbott is solid. And then you got guys in the minors waiting for their turn. And Rhett Lauder, who I think is their second ranked prospect. Connor Phillips. I don't know if he's going to be ready, but he's in AAA. He's their sixth ranked prospect. Uh, they have some good pitching in the minors. It's just a matter of how's that going to fare in Cincinnati is the biggest thing. But this bullpen can be really good too. Alexis Diaz, Taylor Rogers, Emilio Pagan, I think is a pretty good back end 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And then for the Chicago
Who are we
Cubs,
missing? Cubs, yes,
yes. You go, your
those
National
guys.
League.
Yeah, They're just the most complete team. I think their offense should be good. The rotation should be solid. The bullpen should be solid. They added Kyle Tucker. Uh, they got rid of Isak Paredes, which I think is addition by subtraction because he just would not fit in that ballpark whatsoever. That trade never made sense from the beginning. Matt Shaw is their number one ranked prospect, and he should be getting the third base job. Or it sounds like, how's his spring? He's not having a good spring. Well, 13 plate appearances, so whatever, but he has one hit.
And then in the same breath that you mentioned Paredes, same breath you could mention Bellinger, that ballpark.
Right.
There may not have been a worse fit for a ballpark for both those two guys.
Right. But, a top four of Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, and Michael Busch. It's a pretty good top four. And then Pete Crow Armstrong is going to, do things on the bases. That's just insane. If he gets on base.
I was just going to say Nico Horner's another guy, too, that is a solid hitter. Very solid. Yeah, maybe a tick above league average. Right on the bases. So, I don't know. I like the floor of this Cubs lineup.
That's fair.
I really like the floor of it.
Yeah, I don't think the ceiling is all that high, but I will agree that the floor is pretty up there. And then the rotation, Shota Managa, Justin Steele, Jameson Taillon, Matthew Boyd, and Colin Ray. The last, Boyd is interesting. He could be good. I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to pitch because he was coming off, I forgot what injury, but he came in like halfway through last year. He only pitched 39 innings last year, so I'm not sure if he's going to be like on an innings limit or something like that. Colin Ray is the definition of a fifth starter who's just going to take the ball every fifth day and maybe give you a quality start, maybe get run out in the first inning. But Imanaga, Steele, and Taillon are a solid 1-2-3. I wouldn't be scared of them in the rotation. I wouldn't be scared of them in the playoffs, but through 162, it's a really good 1-2-3.
They almost have too many lefties, though.
They have three lefties. Yeah. That's three lefties. I don't know. I probably they're probably like on the line because Imanaga and Steele are really good.
Yeah, they're so good that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then the bullpen could be good. Ryan Presley, Porter Hodge, who I know is really good. Ryan Brazier, Tyson Miller, Nate Pearson, who could throw like 103. So
I heard that
again,
name.
It's a really solid team overall, and again, that weak Central Division is just going to help them out even more.
Yeah.
But we also got Cody Poteet. Cody Poteet, who's a solid pitcher. I'm sure we'll see him at some point.
We thank you for
And then the last but not least, the National League West. Let's just get it over with. The Dodgers are winning the West. Probably going to be the first seed in the National League.
I got the Rockies.
Oh, my fault. Let me flip it. I flipped my standings upside down. The Dodgers got fucking Blake's. Yeah. The Dodgers got fucking Blake Snell. They got back Teoscar Hernandez. They got Roki Sasaki. Tyler Glasnow is going to come back.
Stanton Tommy Edman, Kirby Yates. What's the other reliever?
Tanner Scott. They have a fucking bullpen for days. Fuck you. Like, we'll just go over quick. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Michael Conforto. I think Michael Conforto was a really good signing. Tommy Edman, and Haesung Kim. I think that's how you pronounce.
I think they're pronounced the same way.
The other Kim, the left-handed utility Kim.
From China, right?
Korea,
yes.
Fuck you, Los Angeles. Good lineup. Then the starting rotation: Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, Tyler Glasnow, Tony Gonsolin. They also have Dustin May. Clayton Kershaw is going to come back at one point. Who else? Gavin Stone, I think, is out for the year, if I'm not wrong. No, that was Michael Grove. He's out for the year. Gavin Stone might be coming back. They are dealing with some injuries. Michael Kopech, Evan Phillips. I don't know who you are. And Bruce Gratterall. Ooh, he got labrum surgery. He might miss the year. But even if all those injuries, they are still a really good team. And I do not think, except for maybe one team, I do not think any other team touches this team in division. They also have Bobby Miller, who can bounce back, because of course. But it's just disgusting. And
They have
then
3
Tanner Scott,
rotations.
Kirby Yates,
Dude, they have
Blake
3
Trinan.
fucking rotations.
Yeah. Fucking Dustin May is projected to be in their bullpen. Fuck you. That's all I got for the Dodgers. Moving on. Who do you got for second?
I
'Cause I
got
feel like we're gonna have
Diamondbacks.
very similar Diamondbacks. Yeah, so do I.
Who do you got third?
I got Padres.
Yeah. All right, so
Not by much. And then Giants, Rockies.
I thought the Giants did so much more. They added
So
Adames and
did
Verlander,
I.
and that was it.
That was really it.
That was
I
it.
was a little disappointed. I felt for some reason I felt like they did a lot more and they got a lot better.
You also lost Snell. So,
Right. So, yeah, you lost Snell and you replaced him with Verlander. Don't love it.
Snell threw a no-hitter
But-
this year too, right?
He did.
Yeah, so he was awesome this year. I mentioned.
Yeah. But
I don't even
let's talk
think
about
it's
the
that close to me,
Diamondbacks.
honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. But let's talk about the Diamondbacks real quick. This starting rotation is fucking disgusting. Corbin Burns, Zach Allen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt. I love Brandon Pfaadt. And Kyle Nelson. I believe that's his name. I want to make sure I got that right. Ryan Nelson.
Ryan.
Ryan Nelson is so good. And he's not even projected to make the fucking rotation. This rotation is so good. I think it's going to be really good. Jordan Montgomery's still there. Projected to be in the bullpen. So I don't really know how they're going to use him. He made his first appearance in spring and got lit up.
So sad.
0.1. He got 1 out. How many? I don't know how many runs that is. He gave 5 runs while getting 1 out. So he has 135 ERA.
I was trying to do the math. I hate you.
Yeah, 135. So I don't know what they're doing with Jordan Montgomery, but the back end of the rotation and the bullpen is disgusting. AJ Puck, Justin Martinez, who fucking throws like 105, Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, who's got that weird arm slot, Joe Mantiply is a solid lefty. Then Dre Jameson is kind of the X factor here. I think he was hurt all of last year, but he's a first round pick from 2019. He has really good stuff. I didn't even talk about the offense. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Josh Naylor is a good replacement for Christian Walker, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Jake McCarthy, Eugenio Suarez, Pavin Smith. I like Pavin Smith a lot. Gabriel Moreno, and Gerardo Perdomo. This is a very, very good team who probably should have made the playoffs, if not for a certain hurricane. I don't think they're going to be the best offense in baseball like they were last year, or arguably the best offense in baseball, because losing Jock and Walker hurt, I think, a good amount. Jock especially. But they supplemented it well with, Josh Naylor, and then bumping up the pitching. So I think the pitching is going to take a step above, and the offense is going to take a step back. The bullpen was their biggest thing last year, just blowing leads left and right. They were 25th in ERA, 27th in WHIP, 25th in K per 9. So, but they have some. AJ Puck and Joseph Martinez specifically can strike out guys for days. So that's definitely going to help in the back end. But I like this team a lot.
Yeah, it's a really solid team. I also am just so down on the Padres. I think that also has a lot to do with it. So
that's fair. Yeah, we look at the Padres. It's they're gonna have a good rotation. Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, love Nick Pivetta, and Kyle Hart from the KBO. They're gonna have a solid rotation, but that offense, those last 3 or 4, pretty rough. Bogarts, what are you gonna get from him? Jose Iglesias, my love. I don't see it. Jason Hayward's platooning with Connor Joe in left field. And then Elias Diaz is their starting catcher. Yeah. Top 4, though, immaculate. Luis Arias is going to get on base every time. Fernando Tatis Jr. is fucking insane. Jackson Merrill, as long as he doesn't sophomore slump, he's going to be crazy. And then Manny Machado is consistent as ever. But then it's Jake Cronenworth, Xander Bogaerts, Jose Iglesias, Jason Hayward, Elias Diaz. Does not inspire confidence.
Dude, Jake Cronenworth is just not good.
Yeah, that extension is looking really bad.
Dude, like, you look at, obviously, Baseball Reference WAR, so say what you want about it. 2023, he had a 1 WAR with 89 OPS plus. Last year, 1.9 WAR with 99 OPS plus. That 1.9 WAR is in 155 games.
Jesus. It's bad. They are gonna miss Joe
But don't
Musgrove
worry,
for the
he struck
entire
out twice as
season.
much as he walked.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, both
So he
years.
does nothing. And he's not good defensively either, no matter where you put him, I'm pretty sure. But they are missing Joe Musgrove for the season. He had Tommy. I forgot he had Tommy John during the playoffs. He came out after experiencing. I forgot if it was elbow tightness or whatever. But
I
I
think it was
remember
Dodgers
him.
Devil Magic.
Yeah, I remember him coming out of one of the playoff games. That's a huge blow. The bullpen should be really good though. Robert Suarez, Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morjan, Yuki Matsui, Alex Jacob, Wandy Peralta, and Ron Marinaccio.
Did you say
Really good
Wandy on
bullpen.
purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Really good bullpen, especially that back end. It's just the offense. I don't think they're gonna have enough offense, personally. Because they lost Profar, who had an insane
It was
year.
awesome.
Right. Kim, I think he missed a lot of last year, so kind of like of a wash. No more Tanner Scott in the back end. Kyle Gashioka had a sneaky year for them. Um, that's really it. But yeah, that bottom
I forgot about that for the
4-3 is
Rangers
not good.
too.
Higgy?
Yeah, the backup catcher.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's an excellent backup catcher.
He's an
But
okay starting catcher. Incredible backup catcher. But
yeah.
go on.
Yeah, it's just that bottom 4-3 of that lineup. It just is not inspiring confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
The bottom 3 of their lineup is projected to combine for 1.5 WAR. Jose Iglesias projected 0.7, Jason Hayward's 0.6, Elias Diaz 0.2. And their bench is not great either. Luis Campusano as the backup catcher, Connor Joe's platoon with Jason Hayward, Yuji Rosario. I don't know. I'll be real. Don't know how to pronounce that. Rosario as backup infielder / outfield, and then Tyler Wade. Not great, Bob.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll go look at the Giants. Again, Willie Adames was their big get, but they lost They lost Blake Snell. It was a massive loss for them. Like, I want to like this team, but they're just very underwhelming. Lamont Wade, Willie Adames, Jung-Hoo Lee. Hopefully, you get a full season of him. Matt Chapman, Heliot Ramos. You're gonna get a full season of him. Mike Yastrzemski, who's platooning. Tyler Fitzgerald, Gerard Encarnacion, who has extreme power and all the batted ball qualities you want. He has, but he strikes out over 30% of the time. And then Patrick Bailey, who's one of the best catchers in baseball, especially defensively. He's projected 5.1 WAR with a 90 WRC plus. Imagine if he was league average. I love Patrick Bailey. And then the bench is Sam Huff, backup catcher, Wilmer Flores, my love, Brent Wisely, and Luis Matos. Underwhelming. Same thing for rotation. Logan Webb, Justin Verlander, Robbie Ray, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison. And then the bullpen, it's okay. They have solid back end guys. Ryan Walker, Tyler Rogers, Camilo Duvall. Just very underwhelming. I think is kind of just where I'm at with the Giants.
Yeah.
If you
I think
haven't,
that's
if you
no,
haven't
that's
seen it.
definitely fair because it's a thing of like could have done more. You had two
Yeah.
headliner moves, and it felt like they did a lot more. Those were the only two moves they made. There wasn't a
Yeah.
reliever thrown in there. There wasn't like a bench. No, only two moves they made.
Yeah.
So
I had in my notes for the Giants, I put above average at everything, but excels at none.
I wouldn't even say very good at anything.
Yeah.
Like maybe
But
defensively with
maybe.
Bailey and Chapman, but like
Yeah. Bailey, Chapman, Adamas is solid. So I don't know. I do think the Giants and Padres are close. I I will say. I think they could probably finish like a win or two
so
behind each other. And then the Rockies, we don't need to talk about because pathetic. So yeah, that's the divisions.
yeah.
Definitely the hardest uh, since we started doing this. I think the Central teams are super, super interesting. The Easts are also bloodbaths. They could finish in a multitude of
The
orders.
East and Centrals are bloodbaths for completely different reasons. You have
Yes.
like Ali Frazier for the East, and then you have the Battle of Mid in the Central.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
Jake Paul versus
That's
Mike
a way you put
Tyson
it.
in the
Yeah.
Central, just mid.
And then the Wests are, I think what, like, I mean, the National League West is, I think, pretty set.
I'd say at least
I would,
first.
yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if the National League West kind of falls in any other order than what we had it.
Maybe Giants and Padres.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I could think, but it's Rockies last, Dodgers first, Diamondbacks second, and then
AL West is also going to be very interesting. That's
yeah,
I think there's a lot of room for variation.
I truly think those top three teams can finish as
Because
division winners.
there's a world where, say that the Rangers get so unimaginably beat up that the Athletics finish third. You know what I
I
mean?
really like the
Like
Athletics
that's
team. I
that
feel like we
there's a
kind of
world
glossed
where that
over them, but
happens.
yeah, no,
The
absolutely,
Sacramento Athletics with a Los Angeles patch, even though it's not 100% confirmed yet
yeah,
that they're going to be playing in or Las Vegas patch
Las
rather. But
Vegas, yeah. So I don't know if maybe the minor league stadium might help the offense because the Coliseum can be unforgiving. So that could be another thing. But again, that also helps the road team. So who knows? But overall, how you feeling confidence wise of your picks? Scale 1 to 10.
4.5,
Yeah, I think
5.
I'm at like a 6, 7.
I think it's just such a crapshoot every year. You just got to
Oh,
call
of
your
course.
shots. That's what I learned
Yeah,
from last year. I called my shot on the Royals finishing second. That's all you have to do. Pull your shot.
yeah.
Also, life
So
advice.
so true. You're so wise. Thank you. You have anything else for us, Justin? No.
Outro
So
monkey.
yeah, that's our division predictions. Let us know where we went wrong, or if you agree and we're just
Or
the
why
brightest
you're wrong.
minds, or why you're wrong. That too, because you are. It's okay. But let us know in the comments. Shoot us a comment over on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, DM, all that stuff. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Again, leave us a comment. Let us know why we're wrong, why you're wrong. If you're listening, remember to follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know you're enjoying the show. And follow us on our social media accounts at Triboro Podcast. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. With that being said, that's our division predictions. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.